Hello, everybody, and welcome to the start of BookTube VEDA, or VEDA. I don't know what's the correct way to say
I
it.
feel like VEDA because it's every day, not every day.
I sort of think it is, and I think that outside of BookTube, it's always been called VEDA, and then when people started saying VEDA, I was like, have I been saying it wrong for years?
It's like the NaNoWriMo, NaNoWriMo thing. That's
Right,
really what's
yeah,
happening.
Exactly. Well, whatever it is, welcome to that. I'm Brianna. I'm with Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals. You know that because you're on my page right now. But today I am joined by Kylie, Becky, Margaret, Rye, and Merritt. This project was a brainchild of Kylie and I's about 4 months ago. Something like that. I don't know. Kylie said, like, hey, I'm going to get back into doing YouTube videos. And I was like, hey, we should do videos every day. August is my birthday month. So her and I started talking about it. Then I put out a tweet, and these lovely people were like, hey, I'm crazy too. Let's do it.
That's literally what I say in my TBR that's going up here in a couple of hours. I'm like, Brianna, help me with my mind.
Yes, I'm very happy to enable you guys. So this is BookTube VEDA, which if you don't know what VEDA is, that's a video every day in August, April. People use it for both months, but it's August, so that's what we're doing. And yeah, we are putting out content every single day in the month of August. So help us all.
Pray for me.
Yes. May the force be with you. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Whatever works. Guys,
I need all the So yeah, there's I had an announcement video a couple weeks ago. Everyone put up one talking about like why we wanted to do this, what the benefits were of it. A lot of it stems from the YouTube algorithm is a cruel mistress. And sorry, you're gonna hear my dog in the background. But yeah, we don't really know what works, but we have found that putting up content consistently does work. Mm-hmm. So we decided to do that by doing 31 videos in 31 days. So I'm going to give everybody a chance to kind of talk about their channel, what they're planning on doing for the month of August. And then I have everybody's links down in the description below so that you can, if something interests you, go subscribe to someone, all of them. Please support us. Like this is a lot of work, guys. So my videos, I haven't, like I said, I haven't even I have maybe a week's worth of stuff that I haven't even figured out what I'm doing yet, but that's cool. I am planning on starting 2 new series in the month of August. One of them being kind of a BookTube 101, talking about how to start a BookTube channel, how to do thumbnails, how to do Bookstagram, how to do Goodreads reviews, all encompassing. Not all of that will be in August, but it's going to continue on. I'm also reinstating Coffee Talk, which is something that I started last year, which is basically where I talk about more serious discussions that are happening in the BookTube community. J.K. Rowling will definitely be a topic of conversation in one of those. And apparently Rainbow Rowell, too. Apparently she's doing crazy things, too.
She's been doing crazy things, so.
But anyways, so that is... that's what we're doing. So that's going to be things that are on my channel. Also going to be doing some tags and some book recommendations. My book recommendations will go up on Wednesdays, and they're going to be tailored to specific things, debut authors, nonfiction, retellings, things like that. So yeah, that's what's going on my channel. On my screen, Kylie, you're next.
Okay. So yeah, I'm Kylie. My channel is Simply by Kylie. I suck at sticking to schedules, so that's kind of why I want to do this. But this month I am trying to just branch out and include a little bit more of what I enjoy. My son's joining. So I'm including a little bit more of what I enjoy, which is Sims, and I'm fond of YouTube drama, not necessarily BookTube. So I'm starting a series similar to your coffee one, called Friday Morning Coffee, where I just talk about like YouTube drama. If you watch like the beauty community, the Dramageddon that happened, a whole bunch of other stuff like that, just things that go around, kind of like gossiping or whatever, fun stuff. And then I do want to focus more on BookTube and become more creative than just the backbone stuff of BookTube, and just really expand my channel that way as well. That's all I got.
All right. And are you doing your Sims Asylum this month?
I am. So funny story, my computer, I had a gaming laptop and then it died. And I went to film the first like gameplay episode, and then I exported everything, put it in my editor, realized all my audio didn't record. None of it for like an hour and a half.
Oh no.
But it worked out in the end because I needed to restart it anyways, and when my computer died, I couldn't get the save file to move to this computer, but it is on the gallery, so I can just import from the gallery and have a clean slate and just start from the beginning.
Okay, cool.
So
cool. No, I'm
fresh start.
super looking forward to that. So it's like a Sims Asylum challenge, which I don't really know.
You caught the house on fire, Brianna.
I did?
You did.
Yes. Yes. My house that I built?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
So she took a bunch of different booktubers and is doing the Asylum challenge, and I'm super excited to see how that's gonna go.
Brianna is not the one I would see setting anything on fire, honestly.
No, not really.
It's so interesting because in the Asylum challenge, you can't have like so many entertaining things. Like you can't really have a TV. You can only have like a computer or a TV. Well, there was like 8 booktubers in this Sims house. One person was using the computer, and you know what they all did? They all read books.
Nice.
Most unrealistic expectation of all of us.
Right. Hello,
Just like every one of them lining one by one to the bookcase, and I'm like, I don't know what I expected.
That's kind of great, honestly. Let's be honest.
It is.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that the audio didn't go through. It was honestly really fun.
Right.
But...
All right, Becky, you are up.
Hi everyone. Hi friends. So I don't have that much in stone for content, mostly just vague ideas. This upcoming week is going to be Twilight Week for honoring Midnight Sun's release. So I'm going to be doing vlogs rereading the OG books for the first time in a decade. I have a tag video on Tuesday that's Twilight inspired, and I will end the week with not only a review of Midnight Sun, but also another book that I was recommended on Amazon that was pitched as for adult fans of Twilight. So it's going to be a secret read that I think is going to be a disaster, but in the best possible way. So that's coming next week. I have tag videos for every Tuesday because Tag Tuesday is just the easiest thing to do. I say knowing I have nothing filmed, so we'll see. I have secret TBRs for every single week, just a couple of books on there that are all themed in nature. I'm going to try to get back to the weekly vlogs, and I have a couple other ideas like up in the air, like discussion review based content, but we will see based off of how the month actually goes. But I have some big things in the work, including some big plans on my TBR. I don't know if you guys can see that chunky spine right there, but that's hopefully
What is
on
it?
the TBR.
Priory of the Orange Tree.
Oh yeah.
I watched your video this morning.
The wheel was evil. So for anyone that doesn't know, I pick my books using a wheel inspired by Cody's Book Corner, and the wheel hates me and put this chunker
Nice.
on. So
that's basically all you're reading this month.
I'm feeling the rest of the shelf over here, but we will see if this actually gets started.
All right.
My
Margaret,
turn.
it's your
Okay.
turn.
Hello, I'm Margaret. You can find me over at The Word Nerd. I do mostly I read fantasy. I read some comic books occasionally when I'm actually on my game, as you can tell by the Catwoman shirt. She's my favorite character ever in comics. My channel is going to be fun this month because I'm bringing back weekly reading vlogs, at least for August, because easy content. My Writer Wednesday videos are coming back. I'm also bringing back Read the Book, which is a series I do where I read the book and then I watch the movie and I compare and contrast the two and kind of this is what they both did well. This is what the movie could have done better. I have controversial opinions on the book that I'm going to be doing for this month, so that should be fun.
Ooh.
I think I might be the only person that actually enjoys this movie that is on the Bookternet. So,
I don't
anyway,
even know which one it is.
I know. I'm like, now I don't want to know.
What is it?
So
if
you
you watch
should
my
all go
TV
subscribe to Margaret because we all want to know now.
I'm gonna say, if you watch my TBR, which is supposed to be going live at 1:30, that book is in that TBR. So,
All right.
so yeah, it'll be fun. I'm also going to be bringing back my reacting to the 100 videos because I need to get caught up on that since we're getting closer to the end of the series. I think we have 7 episodes to go. And I'm also bringing back my reviews. I'm supposed to be doing reviews every other Friday. Does that happen? No. And then the final one is I'm doing Get Stuff Done live shows where it's just we're going to sit for 2 hours. I'm going to be like, set your timers for 25 minutes, and then we'll take a 5-minute break when we're done so that I can get things done, which will probably mostly be editing videos for VEDA.
Same.
You know, that's kind of genius because you're both getting a video out and working on the next day's or future videos. So honestly,
That's a good
to
idea.
you for working
It's
the
smart.
system.
I'm also very productive when I do live shows like that because I get
Right.
lots of writing done when I do my write-ins because I'm like, there is pressure. I must perform.
Right.
So in this case, I'll be like, I can't go anywhere. I have to host this live show. I guess I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do instead of scrolling Twitter for an hour and a half.
Right. or my problem is TikTok. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I
right.
start looking. I'm like, it's been an hour. Oh my god.
Don't get me started on TikTok.
Margaret's also trying to finish her book this month. So,
Exciting.
We'll see because I just decided I think that I'm going to try it in third person for a few chapters and see how that goes. So I might be rewriting everything that I have already edited.
Oh my gosh.
well,
Okay.
shouldn't you just finish it and then go back and do the whole? That just makes more
The
sense.
thing is that if I'm close enough to the beginning right now that I'm like, if I do it now, then I don't have to. If I was further towards the halfway point, I'd probably just we're just gonna go from the halfway point. But I'm like, I'm only on chapter 12. Let's see how chapter 1 fits as a third person narrative, and then go from there. But yeah, that's what my month is gonna look like. Hopefully, at some point there will be a bookshelf tour because I owe people that for hitting 500
I owe people
subscribers.
that too. That was my 2K gift, people.
Mhm. I have a day.
Yet.
I have one day planned where that is the only video I'm filming. I'm like, we're filming the bookshelf
See,
tour.
the filming of that is not even the problem. It's editing
Editing.
it.
Intimidating.
It's such a to edit.
That reminds
I
me,
tried to
need
edit
add
one
that
once,
video.
and my editing software crashed and deleted
Yeah.
all of my footage.
Yeah. Well, and then my problem is I film on my phone, and so then because there's just so many clips, and the clips are so big that it uploads everything to the cloud, and then I can't get it to my computer because for
Yes.
some reason my computer won't attach to the cloud. I don't know, something. I don't. Me and technology.
Film
not
in
best
smaller
friends.
clips. I've discovered that is the key to making editing a little bit easier is you take and you separate your video out into I'm going to film this bit as one chunk and this bit as another chunk and this bit as another chunk. And it makes editing feel so much less. I mean, it's still editing, but it's, I find it less stressful because I'm like, okay, I only have to edit this 5-minute clip right now.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
That's what I do for my TBR game is I do it in small chunks because
Oh, yeah, no, I have to do that too.
takes me hours to do. But when I do it in smaller chunks, I'm like, okay, I feel accomplished. I got my first roll, my first
You're like,
clip,
I
my
got
first
4
book,
clips done.
and there's only 15 more left.
Well, because my TBR, like, I have to switch perspective, like,
switch
switch
angle,
the camera. Yeah, because I have to, like, go to the dice. And
Yeah.
so it's like every clip is like 20 seconds long. All right, Rye, you're up.
So I'm Rye. I'm from Rye's Reading Corner, and I decided to choose VEDA because I'm newer in the booktube world, and I thought it'd just be like a great way to just like dive in, like just go for it. And I'm a teacher, so August is like my last month of like freedom. So I'm like, let's do it this way, and let's just go for it. So I love readathons. Like I do readathons like there's no tomorrow. So like a lot of my weekly vlogs will be me doing the tropical readathon this month, and it's over 16 books for this readathon, which is insane. So I'll be definitely vlogging that a lot as well. I'm bringing a new series to my channel. I'm going to be reading booktubers' favorites. So I already have some in the works, and a lot of them are by authors I've never read before. They're like big time authors. So I'm really excited, a little nervous too, because I'm afraid I'm not going to like them. And then it's going to be like, oh gosh. But let's hope it goes well. I'll be doing some booktube tags. My one I'm looking forward to is the Gilmore Girls booktube tag. I love Gilmore Girls, and I'm doing that one, and I literally cannot wait to do that one. So that's gonna be exciting. I'm also gonna be doing book recommendations, and some of them are gonna be like school themes, going back to school, like books that take place in a school setting. Like my favorite ones, like also like the Dark Academia. I might be throwing in some there too. And also, I love using children's books to teach lessons like about racism and things like that. So I want to throw some of those books in there too, that people can use even with like, they're great books, at least for adults too. So I'm really excited. I have a lot of ideas. I'm just hope it goes through and I can handle reading and doing the vlogging and videos all at the same time. So that's going to be the obstacle.
The vlogs, like adding weekly vlogs to your content calendar is honestly the best thing if you can remember to film throughout the week. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Like you just talk to the camera for 2 minutes and it's fine. But it's relatively easy to edit.
Agreed.
Because there's not as much like cutting, like, you know, you don't have to do the special effects or anything like that. And it's not like where you have to sit down, either script a video or figure out, you know, talking points, things like that. So honestly, like as long as I remember to film throughout the week,
that's the bigger issue.
Mondays at least will be super easy.
I was looking at my calendar.
Like this week, I filmed Tuesday,
Monday,
Friday, and today. That's it.
I literally I've been giving myself a challenge for August and I've already failed it. So like,
oh no,
we're like 5 hours into it.
I woke up at 11. Like I haven't been able to do it.
You just woke up, Merritt.
That's the problem. I was supposed to wake up at 5.
Oh no! Oh dear! Oh God!
Like 8.
Like we don't need to overhaul our entire life system.
Oh no. So here's the thing. I was supposed to wake up between like 5 and 8:30. And then I woke up at 11 because I was up last night downloading TikToks.
Because our Cinnamon Hitler president.
I don't want to talk about it.
We want to keep this monetized, Brianna. I don't think we should let us talk about him.
Right? Yeah, exactly. They'll come for me.
They're coming for all of us, honestly, based on what we do on Twitter. So
fair.
On TikTok, like.
John said it's 2 a.m. in Australia on Sunday.
Thank you for joining
He's had an entire day.
Oh.
I think the coolest thing so far like about booktube for me has been like when I've been talking to someone or doing like reading sprints with people, it's like the next day and I'm like, whoa, wait, I just got out of bed, like, and you're already on. You've already lived this whole day. Like I just like
I think it was a few months ago. I did a buddy read with someone in Australia, and so we were like talking back and forth on Twitter, and they'd be like, okay, I'm going to bed. And I was like, I just woke up.
See, I I might as well live in a different time zone than I do because I will just stay up until like 4 in the morning.
You know, yeah.
Like
Fair.
that's just my sleep schedule.
Fair. One of the cool things that I think, like, especially for you, right, as a newer booktuber, this month is going to give you some really good evergreen content that you'll be, I mean, it will for everybody, but especially like as you know, you don't have as many videos in your library as some of us who have been around for a long time.
And that evergreen content is important because it's funny because people will be like sad about reviews all the time, and then I'm like, my reviews are the ones that get the most, like they consistently bring in views. Yeah. So you have to look at reviews as like there's not a lot of engagement at the beginning, but as you go, it starts to climb up. Like
right. Yeah. Well, and like so, I did a book bullet journal flip through 2.5 years ago, and it's about to hit 10,000 views.
I'm gonna have to go watch that one.
Like it's it's cringy.
I want to go look at it after this.
Super cringy. Like I don't even use that bullet journal anymore. I did an updated one which is about to hit like 5,000 views or something like that. But like consistently, if I look at my analytics at the end of the month, that video is in my top 10 videos.
Yeah, no, definitely
2.5 years old.
My Margaret, when you're talking about reviews, my best video to date is a Dan Brown book review.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine is my I think it's the Allie Carr review that I did for If I Save You First. And I'm like, that's not like it's not even a big book. Like hardly anybody knows that video.
That video of yours, Margaret, always shows up on my homepage. And I think I've watched it before. And I'm like, I don't understand why this keeps showing up.
I know, it's one of my worst reviews too, because it's back when I wasn't even trying to do good reviews. I was just like, I think this sounds like a good, and I'm like, no, these are not good reviews anymore.
Yeah. All right, Merritt, it's your turn.
Oh gosh. Speaking of which, I've been on BookTube since like 2014 and I just hid most of my videos, so I'm also kind of starting over. I will be putting up the old videos again very soon. I want to edit the intros of them, so it was just I felt better about it to hide them. Anyway, I'm a big nerd. I think we all know that because we're all on BookTube, but I also make content about things like D&D, LARP, a little bit of cosplay. There's going to be a music video this month, which I'm excited for. It's kind of like a graduation video for my college theater group. And I just like being artsy and kind of overdoing everything. So the very first video I have going up tomorrow is the entire ways that the Umbrella Academy series is different from the comics, which
that's a good one though. I like that.
I spent too much time on it. I wish I'd gotten it out before season 2, but that's okay because it just means I'm gonna make a second one.
Of course.
Yeah, that was me basically rebooting my novel talk series, which used to be me talking about situations within like the book community and everything like that, which speaking of which, my most viewed video is from one of those. It's from like 2015 of talking about the fake reader girls thing that happened, and people still watch it and still leave hate comments. So I finally hit it. But there's going to be that. There's going to be stuff on just kind of the other nerdy things that I do. My aesthetic is kind of overhauling a little bit just because of the fact that I was never consistent posting before because everything didn't look the way I wanted it to and I didn't have time with school. But quarantine, I got my master's. I'm done with school. So we're finally in a place where I can do kind of what I want with this. So I'm pretty excited for that. But
that's better than how I'm using quarantine, which is scroll Twitter on my phone.
I used quarantine to hit 4K on TikTok. That's what I did. So we're hoping that it stays up because I'm climbing right now and I want it to stay. Literally downloaded 400 videos last night.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Dude, my cosplay ones though, the lighting on it is like, but like no one knows what the characters are, so it doesn't matter. But people are just like, the lighting though.
That reminds me of that audio of like, here I am getting into my cosplay. for an underhyped character that no one's gonna know what it is.
Here I am at 2 a.m. getting into cosplay. Me, all of quarantine. You're just like, well, it's 2 a.m. Everyone's asleep, and I've been awake since 6 p.m. So I'm not going to bed anytime soon. Let's put on makeup.
That's how my sister does cosplay TikToks, and she's last night, like, she started an Instagram live at like midnight. She's like, I'm getting into cosplay makeup, and I'm like, you're an hour ahead of me. You are 13, child. Go to bed.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it explains why most of my cosplay viewers are from Australia, but like, we don't need to talk about that.
All right. Well, so welcome everybody to VEDA. As you can tell, we're all a bunch of nerds, and we're all nuts, and yeah, we're all gonna have a great time. And I know that, like, we're gonna get about 10 or 12 days that we all have like this Twitter group chat. So if you guys are doing VEDA, like, I highly recommend find a group of people and do it with them. Because I know that we're going to get 10 or 11 days in, and we're going to be like, oh my God, I don't want to edit. Like, please, I think we already did that once.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see us at the end to be like, well, that was the biggest mistake I've done all year. Okay.
Right.
So like, I know our worst day was. It just like to have those energy like be flipped.
I made a tag video for you all about reflecting on this once it's all over.
Oh, nice.
So
I'm going to do a live show on the 31st, and we're going to talk about things like, you know, what was your favorite video to do? You know, what was the worst idea of the month? But I also want you guys to, like, look at your analytics today. Look at what July looks like.
I like that idea.
And then compare it to August, because a lot of this is an experiment. If you watch YouTube videos on, like, should you post every day, there is not a consistent answer to that.
Yeah.
Because yes, your views are going to go up because you're putting out more content. Like, sometimes 3 times more content than, you know, if you only used to do it 2 times a week.
If that.
But this is, you know, going to be very different. So definitely, like, look at your channel analytics. Look at what they look like for all of July, and then we're going to compare them at the end of the month, and we're going to see if it worked. And I'm going to do a video in September and, like, actually talk about this.
Yeah. One of the things that
see.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
I was going to say, one of the things that I've found, or at least the people that I watch talk about, is when you're posting consistent, like, every single day content, one of the things that helps is if you wrote, like, every other day you're talking about once, like, we're booktube, so it kind of makes it difficult, but, like, the algorithm might treat you better if every other day you're talking about something slightly different, which is part of why I've got, like, non-bookish videos in there.
I have heard that.
I have, like, topics for each day. So it's like Sundays are just wild cards, then it's like Mondays I'm talking about LARP, and then book review, and then a D&D. So that's how I'm handling that one.
That also helps with your subscribers, not necessarily with finding new people, but with your subscribers coming back to you. Because if they know that every Wednesday is a book recommendation video, or for Margaret, it's a writing video, you know, whatever it is, but every Wednesday it is that, then they're going to come back to you on Wednesday, and they're going to be like, all right, she's got a new writing video out. We're going to do this. Or, you know, we're going to watch it then. Whereas if you know, put up a vlog Monday one week and then Wednesday another week, like, yes, you're going to get views, but it's not going to be, like, as consistent.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's a little tidbit of information. The other thing that I really noticed with impressions, with, like, you know, when I was doing some research for this, was your impression rate is going to go up because you just have more content. So YouTube is going to throw it out there. So making your thumbnails very clickable.
Tip I learned from Allie, PicMonkey is fantastic if you don't have Photoshop.
I use PyZap, but I do pay for it.
I use Canva.
I use Canva too, but I'm reconsidering that because there are things that I want to do with my thumbnails, to maybe do a little bit more with some of the trends I'm seeing on BookTube that you can't do with Canva.
I do a mix of I have GIMP. It's like Photoshop but free. And I do my layering stuff in there, and then I move it over to Canva and use, like, some of their, like, illustration pictures and their fonts and stuff.
Yeah.
I either use Canva. I have Photoshop. I'm just so lazy. But my
Right.
most recent one, the one that I posted that's premiering tomorrow for the Umbrella Academy, that's just actually a screenshot of the video because I spent too much time and masked myself out so I could put text behind my head. Bad idea. Don't do it. I was
Well,
like,
and
you
I
know.
Some people like Chandler uses PowerPoint.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, I used to use Keynote, but I like the fonts in PicMonkey and also their eraser tools a little bit better there. But most of my ones from the last year have been in Keynote.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different like ways of doing it. I like because I've stuck with this one and I've had this for a year and a half now. I use the same 2 fonts in every single thumbnail. And then that way that's more so than like having a, flashy, what I can't talk. Thumbnail is having it be consistent, and the fact that like, if you think about it, the thumbnails are literally this big.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that like when someone sees it on the watch next, that they see the color, the font, whatever it is, and they're like, oh, that's Kylie's video, without even having to look at what it actually is.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my little nugget of advice for you guys. Before
And
we
I
start
do
doing,
have sorry,
ahead.
one thing. We're talking about thumbnails and stuff, but I do have, so my 2-year booktube anniversary is coming up in like the end of August. I'm gonna have like a 3-day of like booktube 101. Like the first one's gonna be like just the basics of like what booktube is and like this is kind of what you do to get started. Then I'm gonna have like the whole technical side of it about thumbnails and editing your videos, and then I'm gonna do a pros and cons the next day. So if you're interested in that, that'll be
really good. Those videos do really well, especially when people like, and they're the what you would call the evergreen content, because someone's gonna search how to start a booktube channel, and it might be 3 years old, but that video is
They're
gonna
gonna
show
find
up.
it.
Yep.
Like if you search for how to start a booktube channel, Emma's video from I think 6 years ago is the top result.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure I
that sounds
watched
about right.
it.
Like
was a good
that's
video,
how
though.
it really is. And then I think Haley did a really good one too.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right.
think Haley's was the one I watched first
Yeah.
when I was figuring out how to start one.
I'm pretty sure that's I think I just watched all of them. Because I had started my YouTube channel 6 months prior to starting BookTube. And so then I was like, how to transition to books.
I've been on YouTube since 2007. I used to make music videos. Nikki and I
Nice.
met 10 years ago.
Nice.
Oh God, I made skits in high school, comedy skits with my little brother, and I did get him in high heels once.
Love that.
Love that.
I copyright striked all of them when I lost access to that channel, and they're not there anymore.
Oh, that's a good way of doing that.
Well, so I had a channel in high school. It was really cringy. I just moved to Idaho, had no friends. It was summer. I was about to go to 10th grade. No friends. So I had this camera and I had some spare time and I made the videos, and then I lost access to that channel. But when I started up YouTube in my adult life, I was like kind of vlogging like my pregnancy. Some people I knew were finding my old videos and I had a panic attack. So I called YouTube and I was like, how do I get these down? And they said, copyright strike yourself.
Nice.
I've got some old collab channels that I worked on that none of us have the passwords to anymore, so I might do that to myself.
Took 3 days. They were all gone.
Yeah, I'm writing this down.
Right. All right. So if anybody doesn't have any other discussion about VEDA, we are going to do the reader problems tag. It was originally created by Tiffany at About to Read. I found it from Olive at a Book Olive, and I figured that if you guys are, if you don't know, we lost Rye.
We lost Rye. I think they show. Here, I'll message her on Twitter real quick.
Okay, cool. So, there she goes. Okay, she's back.
There you go.
You're back.
Welcome back.
Okay.
You're back.
My camera went like black for some reason.
Oh no. John asks, is there more male or female host on BookTube?
I think it depends per genre.
I think it really does.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd say yes, but like it was funny because I'm thinking like partly there are really good male BookTube hosts, by the way, depending on what you're interested in, because I follow a lot of them. But I do think that like just when you get into toxic masculinity and what is acceptable for guys to do and what is acceptable for girls to do, I think that this kind of falls more in the like, oh yeah, it's okay if a girl has a channel about books, whereas with guys, why would a dude have a channel about books? It needs to be about gaming or stuff like that. Like I think you see some of that gender expectation.
Yeah.
I also noticed that there are guys that do what I would consider booktube content that don't label themselves booktubers. Like Dominic Noble immediately comes to mind. Like he doesn't consider himself a booktuber, but he does Lost in Adaptation and book reviews exclusively on his channel.
Right.
Yeah, there's a couple like movie review or critique channels that I watch, and they will occasionally talk about like books, and like they'll compare the book to the movie, and they'll go deep into like the lore of say like Stephen King, and they don't call themselves booktube channels,
Right.
Yeah.
but they have a ton of knowledge on it. So
Well, and I think that goes back, like, you know, not beyond even like the gender expectation. I think that it's our like unconscious bias of as bad as it sounds, white cisgendered females do better, like on like as far as the algorithm and what people will click on, which sucks, like it's terrible. But especially I've noticed, like I would say within the last like 6 months to a year, that trend has definitely been bucked a little bit.
I think I'm noticing a shift in a really good way. Like people are being a lot more diligent to click on the not white cisgendered creators, but also they're doing it not just because like they need that diversity card, but because they're actually interested in the personalities behind the channel, which is so good.
Right.
Well, you start seeing. Here's the thing that I found when I actually started following Jackie Ina. Because I don't remember why I followed her, but I was watching some of the Beauty Keepers. They mentioned her. I went and watched a video, thought she had a great personality, and so I started following her. Suddenly, I am getting a lot more Black beauty tubers in my YouTube feed being suggested. And so it's when you start following one or two, because I've never had a problem finding people of color who are booktubers. Because when you start following one or two, the YouTube algorithm goes, oh, you like this content, here are some more.
Right.
So
my recommendations feed is just filled with non-binary individuals. It's just like,
which is like,
would you like all of them?
oh my god, my feed is a mess. I don't even want to like get into that. There's so much. I can't even keep track of it.
Mine is wild lately because I've been watching every video on the Umbrella Academy ever since but I waited until I filmed my video first so it wouldn't be influenced, but now it's just like, hey, do you want every single deep dive video? And I'm like, no, but I'm gonna watch it.
Oh my god. When I did the Miracle Creek video, I don't know if you guys know, I know Brianna knows, but I did like a really in-depth kind of like you guys watch anti-MLM videos?
Oh yes. Oh hard yes.
I did it an anti-MLM style video, but it was a book review, and I took clips from people's like reviews of Miracle Creek, and I went into like the history of like the author and everything. It was wild. It took so long to make, but I was researching so many reviews on that for like 3 weeks, literally every video on my feed was a Miracle Creek review.
So that's actually why I don't watch YouTube on my BookTube channel. I have like my other Gmail account that I watch YouTube on. So like that's like my weird feed. And
I should have done that. I never thought about that. It's too late for me to go back now.
My problem is that for work I was having to watch a lot of COVID-19 webinars and CDC calls and things like that, and so like I have so much COVID-19 like science. I'm like, I don't care now.
Well, my son took my phone one day and watched something on like the YouTube, and now I have random kids, like people playing with toys and unboxings, and I'm like, and they're so weird. Like, I don't know why. I don't get like the kids watching kids play it. Like, it literally boggles my mind. But I'm like, this is so weird, and I'm like scrolling through. I'm like, I don't want to see this.
Right.
I love this question that Lindsay asked.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
then she rephrased it as, "Do you set realistic months?" No.
I
But
thought
I
it
think,
was
I think it's meant to say, how do you set
Okay, yeah,
realistic
that makes
monthly
more sense. I was
yearly
like,
goals?
no, we do not set realistic.
I was
How
gonna
do
say,
you?
I don't know.
Goodreads. Yeah, definitely use
Yeah.
Goodreads, because like you can use your, like, you know, your progress tracker and things like that, and that makes you feel good when you're like 15 books ahead of schedule.
I think that like the technical way to do this is how often do like just average what you read in a month and then pick a number below that average. So if you average, say, 10 books a month, set your TBR to like 5 or 6. So now if you read more than that, it's great. Or find a good motivators, which is why the TBR games, I think, got so popular, as they are a fantastic motivator to sticking to your TBR. Despite the fact that yours truly does not ever, but it's a fantastic way to do it.
I
think
literally
the big-
never have a realistic goal. Last month, I had 25 books on my TBR and I read like 4 of them. So
See, I feel that because like my yearly goal is so realistic and my monthly goals are like 30
Right.
books. I'm like, who do I think I am?
Right.
I think the biggest thing for me is like not comparing to other people. So like I feel like some people be like, well, they're a mom, they're working too, and their goal is at 100, and you feel like you have to be at 100. I think the most important thing is like setting it for yourself. So like for me at the beginning of the year, I did 50, knowing that I work, a mom, but then obviously COVID happened, and I'm already at like 70 something books for the year, and I read like 20 something books last month. But realistically, I know when September starts, my numbers are going to drop drastically, because my school is going back. Like I have to be there every day. So I know, like, realistically in September, I can't set a goal for myself. Like, I know I'm not going to beat my August goal or my July goal of 20 something books. Like, it's not possible. So I think just looking at your situation of where you are and then not comparing your goal to someone else's goal, I think is really big.
Also, what you read, like the genres you read, like if you're reading chunky fantasy, you're not going to read as much as someone that reads like smut, just because smut is so much faster and easier to get through, and they tend to be shorter. But like if you got like 6 priories on your TBR, good luck.
Yeah. What I see a lot of people doing is they take the amount of books that they read in 2019, and then their 2020 goal is one more than that. Which
That's
is still
kind of what I did.
pushing it, because like, you know, if you read, you know, obviously like 2020 was a whole lot different than 2019. And you know, while some people like, you know, read a ton, I think that in March and April I read a combined 10 books, which is not normal for me.
March was 5 for me.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
That was
it was
at a rough
riddled with panic attacks of me dying of COVID.
For me, I know that personally, at my worst, I can finish probably, unless it's like I've had outliers besides, I can usually finish about 1 book a week, and then I add audiobooks on top of that. So my goal per month is usually about 6 books. I also know that reading 7 books in a, or not 7 books, 100 books in a year is a really easy goal for me. So that's consistently like my goal. I'm like, this is the baseline that I know I can meet because I've met it the last several years. And then if I end up hitting that early, I'll up the goal just because I can. And that's the person I am. But like, whether or not I actually set realistic TBRs, guys, I tried this month. I really did. And if you watch my video that's going live at 1:30, I failed. Like literally in the video, you see me realize I failed.
Right, yeah.
See, meanwhile, personally, I don't set goals because I'm the kind of person who, the minute I set a goal, I fail it. Like I can't do it. I have gone months this year without reading anything. So for me, it's just, can you please read something? Anything.
Right.
Yeah, I feel
I don't
so
even care if it's like
bad.
is it the directions on the back of like a food container? You read something? Good. Please, use your
You
eyes.
read Umbrella Academy, clearly.
Right.
You read Umbrella Academy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That
yeah.
counts. That counts. All right. So I think this is a perfect way to segue into our tag. The first question is: you have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide to read next, or what to read next?
I don't.
That many books, I would shut. I mean, technically, I do have 20,000 books on TBR if you think of all of everything that's out there, but I would shut down and just
Right.
too many decisions.
Hi, this is why I play a TBR game with the wheel, because
Yeah.
it narrows it down, or a classic TBR jar.
Yeah. But
I
like
think
even
for-
beyond that, like I have 7 books on my TBR for this month, and I'm like sitting here on like the first going, oh, which one do I pick up first?
I do a lot of
I don't
Twitter
have a
polls
TBR
because
yet.
I'm so indecisive. I'm like, wait,
Right?
do I read this one or do I read this one? But I think that's why I like readathon so much, is because I do hate making choices. So it kind of makes my choices more narrowed, and then I
Yeah.
feel like it's more reasonable to go from there. But even this morning, I didn't know what to pick up. Like I was between Illuminae and the House at the Cerulean Sea. I'm like, which way do
Oh,
I want
both
to
are
go?
so good.
I went with
The answer is
Illuminae.
Illuminae. The answer is
Illuminae audiobook and House of
while
Cerulean
reading
Sea
it.
physical
While
book.
reading it.
While
I
reading
need
it,
to
yes.
do that. I need to do that and listen to it and read it at the same time,
It's
because I
so
hear that's
good.
the best way to do it.
It's the
Maybe
I'll
only
actually
way to
finish
do
that
it.
series.
It's so good.
You should definitely do that.
I'm halfway through. What's the second one? Gemini.
Gemini?
Oh,
Yeah.
that was my favorite
that one.
personally. That was so
Yeah,
good.
no, that was
I-
fun.
I started that 2 years ago now. I just never finished it. So this is what I mean. Like I don't read. Like
You
I
call
do-
yourself a booktuber?
Okay. Hey.
The end of this one since last January, because I put it down for Blackathon and just never picked it up, and then realized I have to start from the beginning, and I'm just like,
You should
okay.
just restart the whole series.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's just like
No, I can't do that,
Just
because then I will have
binge the
read
whole
them
thing.
different. I will have read the first 2 books more times than I've read the last book. I can't do that.
Well, no,
Fine.
do it that way and then reread the last book.
There you go. For those of you in the comments, feel free to answer these questions as well,
Yeah.
and we will like shout them out. Second question. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed?
Oh, the great
Quit.
debate.
Well,
I tend to power through because I always have that inkling of, well, what if the ending saves it? But what if because I've had so many 3 stars that would have been 1 or 2, but the ending was so darn good. I'm like,
Yeah.
I hate DNFing books. It gives me so much anxiety over if I'm going to DNF a book or not. But I have DNF'd a couple since starting booktube, because I feel like I've gotten the reassurance that it's okay to do it. But
Yeah.
it's like a big decision for me. Like I stress over something so.
The way I
little.
see it is, I'm a full-time working
know.
mom who does so much stuff on the internet that if I'm going to read something, I don't want to drag myself through pages and pages of stuff I'm just not enjoying.
I
So I'm going to
will
put it down,
also,
and I'm going to find something else I like.
I will check out a review to see like if the
Yeah.
review mentions the ending
Yes.
being good, to see like
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I like there are some like I wasn't feeling, so like I like early on DNF'd it, but if I get to the halfway point I tend to push through.
Right.
But like I will check out a review too to be like, okay, is it worth it?
Right.
for
Yeah.
me, I think it
The
depends
only
on what I'm
time I will
reading.
force myself to finish is if it's something for like a book club, or like
Yeah.
I have to read it, like when I was in school or something.
Yeah.
Other than
Like,
that, it's my free
my-
time, and I want to read what I
Right.
want to read.
Well,
that
and that's the thing. Like, I
enjoy.
have 200 unread books. I don't have time to read a bad book. Like,
True.
but I usually stop. Like, I usually get to the 30% mark. If I'm not liking
Yeah.
it by 30%, I stop. If I've gotten halfway through, I'm gonna finish it because I don't count my DNFs in my Goodreads
Yeah, I don't
goal.
either.
So if I've already spent the time reading it, I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah.
But usually I make the decision at 30%. John says that they quit.
I think that was in reference to the conversation John was having with Lindsay. So it's like, what's your total for the year? Then Lindsay answered, and then John said, well done, and then I quit. So I think it was in
Lindsay says
reference to
commit,
that.
but my feet are dragging the whole way.
Mood.
Yeah.
I feel your
For
For
pain.
me,
That's a
it
mood.
depends. It depends on whether or not there's still something that if there is still something that intrigues me about the book, if there's still a question that I want answered,
Yeah.
I will finish because I need answers. And that's why I don't DNF books a lot. But I have no problem with DNFing when I'm like, you know what? I am avoiding, like, I am not reading anything else because I don't want to read this book. Like, I had a book that I kept trying to read, and I was just like, you know what? I keep, like, this book, no, it's not working, so bye.
I'm at the point, if I would rather do dishes than read this book, I'm going to DNF it.
Because I just don't read as much as I would like to. I don't really consider most of the time when I DNF books that I was DNFing the book. I just go, oh, I'm in a reading slump, and I wound up putting it down and walking away from it. But I did learn my lesson. Yeah, but I did learn my lesson years back when I first started my booktube channel. I had been talking about this one book that took me literally 6 months to read that was only like 150 pages long.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
And it was just so, like, it was such a drag to get through that I'm like, you know, at this point in my life, if I ever get to a point where I'm just like, I don't like what I'm reading and it's making me upset, I get rid of the book. Like, I don't want it anywhere near me. Goodbye. I'm done. But like,
sorry.
But other than that, it's just all a mood thing. It's like, maybe I'll like this later, and I kind of save it. So.
Right.
I had one this month that I wish I DNF'd. I'm just like,
I have a book that I've literally been reading for a month, and I have an hour and a half left of the audiobook, and I'm just like, I don't want to read
That was
it.
me with Good Omens. That was me with Good Omens. The last 3 hours of the audiobook took me 6 months to read.
Yes.
I love the show too. I'm like, I love the show, so I should love this, but
right. I need to finish it this morning so I can still add it into my July stuff, and then it'll be fine.
Mhm.
All right. The third question. The end of the year is coming, and you're so close, but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how?
Manga.
graphic novel.
Graphic novels.
Children's books, whatever.
Graphic novels is
poetry.
most of what I read anyway.
Right?
Audiobooks.
That definitely helps
Audiobooks.
too.
Yeah, audiobooks.
That are short, not like like I'm reading the Poppy War. That's not the one that I'm having problems with. But I picked up that one because I didn't want to listen to the other one. But that's like a 19-hour audiobook.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Like I usually catch up towards the end of the year anyway, just because there's 2 times in the year when I do the bulk of my reading, and that's like July after, you know, the school phase, like just relaxing is done. It's like, all right, I'm in a good place now.
Right.
And then December. Like those are the 2 times of the year that I'm like, I'm going to read 12 books in a row, and then I'm just not going to touch another book for like 3 months.
I'll also reread my faves because like they're so much easier to get to because like I know I like them. I know what happened. So like if I like, you know, space out for a second, like it's totally fine. Or like I'll reread the big series faves, like the Rick Riordan books, because I'm like, well, that's 15 books right there.
Right, I can binge that.
Always start a series because
what do you
you're
guys
just gonna want to finish it.
or how do you guys feel about changing your Goodreads goal, or do you stick with the one you set in January?
I change it all the
stick
time.
with it.
I'll go up. I won't go down.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go down.
See, I don't ever go up.
I'm like pacing, like how I kind of see myself going. I'll adjust to it.
Right.
I only change my Goodreads goal if it's halfway through the year. Like if it's before that 50% mark,
right.
I'll change it. And then after that point, I'm just like, all right, this is good for me to know for later. So
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
What about you?
Oh, I still have mine set for 50, even though I'm at like 70 now. So I probably should change it, but
I don't like once I go past it, then I'm just like, okay, everything else is bonus.
See,
Right.
if I completed too early, like I know, like I officially rejoined the community back in 2017, and that year I only had my goal set for I think like 20 books or something. I didn't know what I was gonna read, and I quickly surpassed that in like 2 months. So then I upped it. Yeah. But if I get to like the halfway point and I'm like, no, 5 books away or just over, I'm like, now we'll keep it and just have the 100 and something percent.
Right.
Feel really good.
Right. Lindsay said audiobooks during everything.
Yes.
Like, seriously.
I mean, that's me all the time.
My video tomorrow is how to read more, and like I was editing it last night, and I'm like, 90% of this is just listen to audiobooks.
I love audiobooks.
I really just started with audiobooks recently. I don't know why. It's something new for me for sure.
On a good week, I put about 1,000 miles on my car.
You drive so much. Yeah.
I drive so much.
Mhm.
So I listen to audiobooks, and I listen to them on 2x speed.
Yeah.
So
No, my new job lets me listen to audiobooks.
it's so
that's how I
nice.
get through my 8-hour workday.
So
is
nice.
listening to audiobooks.
Yeah.
Both of my jobs, the new one and the one that I had before that, would let me listen to audiobooks. I'm in a podcast phase right now, but
Love that.
that's how I get through so many audiobooks, is just because I can listen to it for the majority of 8 hours, because I have to talk on the phone too.
Right. John said that they've never listened to an audiobook.
I can't
there are some people that can't do audiobooks and they just
Yeah, I
can't focus, so I
understand
totally
that.
get that.
If you want recommendations, let us know. We'll drop
We've
some of
got
our favorites.
some good ones.
I grew up on
me.
them, so
I did too.
Yeah,
That and
audiobooks
radio
work for
dramas.
me, just because like so when I was growing up, I've mentioned this before, but when I was growing up, I was like super delayed in reading. Like I think in 5th grade I was at a 2nd grade level reading level. Like I was behind and I just couldn't read. I had to go through all these special reading classes, and I'm still a very slow reader, but I have caught up technically. So for me, audiobooks help me a lot, because if I didn't have audiobooks, I would maybe get through 3 like 200-page books a year. I don't know what it is. I have a very hard time physically reading a book. And Brianna's seen it. I'm panicking every time I can't find an audiobook version of something. So otherwise, I'm basically screwed. So audiobooks are very helpful for some people, but I do understand that audiobooks for some people just don't work, and they would rather have that experience with like the physical book and the smell of the pages and all of that. So that's just my 2 cents on audiobooks.
Right.
No, Kylie, I had a super similar experience to you. I had some speech and developmental delays due to a speech impediment I had. So because of that, I led into like reading comprehension issues, especially with like fantasy books, when like it's like words that are not analytic, whatever, to our English language and whatnot. So it's like, so Aragon was actually the first audiobook I ever listened to.
Dear God, that is the worst audiobook ever.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I was a child. I did not have. I was a child. I didn't have taste yet. I was also on single speed on a CD in my mom's car. But I would like follow along physically with the text.
Yeah.
And it helped me get used to it. And to this day, I still have a very large audiobook library, and either I'll read physically along with some books, either if it's like Illuminae where like you have to get like the full story, or if it's like some high fantasy books like Game of Thrones is one. Like when I first started that one, I definitely read along with it just because it's so long.
I did that one with Crescent City. And it was so good.
We all know how I feel about Crescent City.
Yes, we do. All right. John is 47. What are some of the favorite audiobooks? Might I recommend Dark Matter by Blake Crouch? If you like sci-fi or thriller, which that's like a sci-fi thriller genre bending. But that audiobook is fantastic, and it is so creepy. And then the other one, it's provided that you like scary books, Home Before Dark by Riley Sager.
So good.
So good.
So good.
Audiobook was fantastic.
I will also add Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, narrated by Stephen Fry. He does such a fantastic job of capturing the cadence. And just adds an extra layer to an already witty and hilarious book. And Stephen Fry's narration just added something really special to it. So definitely we'll add that one to it.
If you like historical books, The Pillars of the Earth is really good on audio, but that's a 1,000-page book. So that audiobook is a commitment.
My favorite audiobook ever is Pet Sematary by Stephen King.
Good one.
But narrated by Michael C. Hall.
Yeah.
And if you like Dexter, having him read a scary story is pretty chilling. So that was a fun experience.
Also, The Whisper Man is narrated by Christopher Eccleston. If any Doctor Who fans know who I'm referring to, he did a fantastic job of capturing.
That was a good one.
And it's a slow enough burn book that when I try reading it physically, I'm like womp womp, but it ended up being a 5-star with the audio. So definitely recommend Whisper Man too.
get to know that's on my TBR for this month. So
Yay!
Read it as do it as an audio.
Mhm.
It's
Do it as
so
audio.
much better.
I'll do that right when I get off.
And it's on
download it.
Scribd if you have Scribd.
Oh, I do. Perfect.
If you like kind of the more supernatural stuff and you're okay with reading YA, I would definitely recommend the Diviners series
That one was
because
so good.
January Lavoie does
Lavoie.
such a good job of narrating. It's one of the few where I've actually been like actually paying attention to the actual narration of the person. I also love the classics on audiobook. It's one of the best ways because you can kind of get the cadence and the accents and all of that. You have to look for the narrators because I know the recorded books narrators that I remember from my childhood, although I treasure them because they were my childhood, they are not exactly the best all the time.
No, they're not. If you like Stephen King, audiobook can be a good route because Stephen King is long-winded. Yes, he is.
It's true, yes.
All right, next
he's
question.
kind of an acquired taste. So
It is, yeah.
Like physical weapons.
But like I read The
Yes.
Shining and I don't think I could have done that physically. Like there's
I
no
cried
way I
when
could
you
have done
told
that,
me
one
that.
physically. Yeah.
Time for us
You
to
told me,
remain
I was looking at
between
my
roasting
phone and I'm
Stephen
like,
King books for 10 minutes.
Yeah, right. All right. Okay, here's a very cringy question.
Oh dear.
The cover of a series that you love do not match.
Oh gosh.
Margaret's over here having a panic attack right now.
No, I'm about to throw something. Speaking of the freaking Diviners, where
Yes!
yes, paperbacks.
Yes.
I purposely held off on getting the really, really pretty edition. I like the first edition, I think it was like the really pretty one with like the purple with the big eye on it because I saw that they all changed to like the one with like the 100 times, but now they all match with like the neon border, and I'm like,
Right.
they're
See,
not
I
as
have all the
good.
neon ones.
They
Yeah.
do, but some of them are in paperback and some of them are in hardcover, and that does I can't put that on my bookshelves,
So that's why my Diviners books lay on their side because then it kind of just looks like a pyramid.
Yeah,
That's the only way I can do it. That it makes it look okay.
I purposely just haven't bought them because I'm like, I don't trust that you won't ruin this yet again.
Right.
No,
Well,
I'm
I
trying
have
to think
oh
of
my
the
gosh.
ones. Like do I even have any that don't match?
I think all of mine match. The only one I have that doesn't match is my. Oh no, wait, I got rid of them. There was a Maria v. Glass series where the first one was one size, the second one was like an eighth of an inch shorter, and then the last one was the original size. And I'm like, what? Whose decision was this?
Like I have
series
some
was gone.
where like my Harry Potter books, some of them, but that's only because I'll only buy them secondhand. I only have a couple that are in hardback, and then I also have Cassandra Clare's books. The first 3 are in paperback, and then the next 2 are in hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
So that reminds me of a wonderful story. I was super out of the book loop when Mortal Instruments got big, so I saw the movie without knowing it was based off of a book series.
I've never read that.
I saw the book cover, which I did not realize was a movie tie-in edition. I thought was really cool at my college bookstore, so I got it. And then I spent a good 6 months trying to find the rest of the series with that cover, because I don't like the US ones, only to realize it's a movie tie-in edition, so good luck.
The new paperbacks are much prettier. I mean, I like the old ones, but the new paperbacks are fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to get them with the spines, because I think that those are so pretty.
I'm collecting those because those are the copies I want. Like, I'm probably going to end up getting the hardcovers because I hate waiting, but the ones that I want are the ones with the pretty spine.
Oh, I do have a mismatched cover. My Folk of the Air. I have Wicked King and Queen of Nothing in the Barnes & Noble, but I hate the Barnes & Noble edition of The Cruel Prince. I do not like that black. I like the black in the other 2, but not in The Cruel Prince.
I was gonna say, I think that my bookshelves might stress you all out because not only do I not have things that match, because I'll have like, the paperback in the first one and then the hardcovers in like the second 2, but I have 3 series in here that I don't have all the books for, but not only do I not have all of the books for it, I'll have like the 2nd and the 6th. Like, okay. I don't even have all of them.
Yeah, my thrift store finds have resulted in a few of those. Like, when I was like rebuilding up my books.
I just buy it that way. I'm just like, you know what? I read the first one on audiobook. I'm gonna buy the second novel, and then I wind up listening to it on audiobook anyway. So
I literally don't give a crap what my books look like. They have the same words. So
I mean,
Also, I don't have a book
Honestly-
club. I have a
Radio.
pile.
Honestly, that matches the chaotic energy of both of you. So like,
I was gonna say, I mostly don't care. It's just if you gave me the neon covers of the Hunger Games books, I think I'd throw up. Like,
Dude, those were awful. Who-
I don't like
I
those
don't
at
know
all.
who agreed to that decision, but
I want the 10th
I would like to speak
anniversary
to their
ones that are like
manager.
the really pretty ones.
I wanted the
those
anniversary,
are
the
so
10th
pretty.
anniversary white ones with the gold text. Oh, those are so
No,
pretty.
there's another one that has like
Really?
these like really
Like-
they're almost like dead flowers along
Yes,
the edge of it.
those
Oh,
ones are
pretty.
so
gorgeous.
pretty.
I don't have
All right.
money. Don't tell me this.
All right. All right. This one doesn't apply to me, but you're reading a book and you are about to start crying in public. How do you deal?
I don't
I
I
cried
cry.
on the New York subway. I have no shame.
cry.
I am a
I've
robot.
never, I don't cry in
tears.
books. I'm a robot.
I
Like when you
I
land,
rarely
maybe tear up,
cry.
but that's
When
it.
something does make me cry, I am crying full force, and there's
Same.
nothing that can stop it.
I
I
have
either get really
absorbed all
wispy
of
or
your
it's just
tears. I will
Right.
cry at the drop of a hat, and I have shamelessly cried over a book on the subway when I was still living in New York. So I have no shame. I'll cry. I'll dab at my tears and just. If someone makes eye contact, I'm like, it's good, okay? I have feelings.
Right.
I
You
cried
should
a couple
read it.
times, but I don't really read in public, so I guess I cry
There
to
you go.
myself. I
Yeah.
guess.
pretty much most
I really
read
don't
in public.
either.
I don't
So-
cry over fictional things. The closest I've come, and this is such a like thing, is there was a K-drama that I was watching, and her mom wrote a letter that was really, really sweet and sad and nostalgic, and it got me in my feelings, and I almost cried. But that is the closest I have ever come. And I'm like, I maybe need to indulge in this. Maybe I'd be a healthier person if I was more in touch with my feelings. I don't cry. I throw things when I'm mad, but that's about it with fictional worlds.
I tear up with movies and like TV, but I just can't do it with books. The
My
two
sister's
books
keeper
that I've ever
told
gotten
me.
close to have been audiobooks. Like, I
Yeah,
definitely can't do it
audiobooks that
physically.
do that so
Thief
much.
was a close one. Scorpio Races was a close one. I sat through the entirety of The Fault in Our Stars, almost completely dry-eyed. Like,
Dude, funny story about The
how
Fault in Our
broken I am.
Stars. I went to go see Fault in Our Stars at the midnight release for the movie, and I already knew I was going to cry at it because I had cried reading the book in front of all of my friends. And even that's with knowing the ending because someone spoiled it for me. But so I'm like starting to tear up. I'm just getting like little wispy eyes, just like I'm fine. And the entire theater is filled with like 40-year-old men and 13-year-old girls. That's like everyone who's there
That
at,
sounds right.
at like midnight for a pre-release. And
For the dads.
the sobbing sounds in that room were so intense from all of the 13-year-old girls. Just being like, oh my god! I was in the front row and I bust out laughing during like the most serious point in that movie, and I couldn't help but laugh, and my friend thought I was crying, and he starts laughing. So we get the whole front row laughing, and half of them don't even know why, and I was just losing it for like a good like 10 minutes. It was so bad, but I will never
Okay.
forget it.
Has anyone here seen the Peter Jackson King Kong?
No.
No. Okay. Huge Lord of the Rings nerd. So when Peter Jackson was doing King Kong, of course, me and all of my friends were going, and we always give my mother the most crap for crying about everything. So she's in the front row crying because Kong is dying. And I turn over to my friend to be like, oh, look, it's my mom. And my friend has tears streaming down her face, and we're in the middle of this really serious moment, and I go, like the worst friend ever.
Yeah,
All
no,
right, I'm gonna skip a couple of questions because Margaret does have a video premiering in like 20 minutes.
I can move it. Actually, I've been considering moving it all for like.
We can always like I can send the rest of these questions to Merritt because we have another one in a few hours this afternoon.
we can finish the tag on
We
my
can finish
stream.
the tag over on Merritt's
Yeah,
channel.
we'll do that.
Don't
But I do
worry about me though. Like,
Right.
don't
No,
worry
you're
about me.
good.
I can change things.
Your notification already went out.
Just like having every notification go out at 1:30.
It's not a big deal. But I do want to end with this one, and I actually we're gonna call all of us out at the right now.
Oh
gosh.
Here.
Oh no.
All
Snap.
right. So after we've bought all these new books that we've been buying during quarantine, and you can't wait to get to them, how long do they sit on your shelf before you read them?
Brianna.
Oh God.
Brianna.
So
It depends on the
actually,
You're
book.
blowing my
Honestly, it
cover.
depends-
You're blowing my cover here.
am I
Okay.
the only one not getting called out right now? Because every book that I've bought in quarantine, I read immediately. The problem is everything that I bought
round
before
of applause
quarantine has
for
been sitting on my
marriage.
shelf.
Same.
So,
I bought
I
some
have
stuff
so
during
many books right now.
through and I read most of it so far. But in the past, like I'm not even kidding. When I started BookTube, I was like, okay, I gotta dig out all my books. I found like when the Casual Vacancy came out, I like bought it because whatever, right? It was mint condition from 2013 with the receipt still in the cover.
And you haven't read it?
I didn't read it. I still haven't read it, and I'm not gonna read it.
No, see, I have some books like House in Cerulean Sea. The second I got it, I picked it up
Right.
because I got it because of hype. I need to know. But then I have books that like Wilder Girls. I bought it on release because of Lala, and I still haven't read it. So
Mhm.
Wilder Girls I heard about before its release, and I got so mad about it, and then I forgot what book it was. I saw it in a bookstore. I was like, "This seems interesting," and I bought it. And I was just like, "Why?" I realized after the fact, and I still haven't read it. It's on my bookshelf, but
no, it definitely depends on the
depends.
book and why I'm buying
Yeah.
it. If it's like, does it sound good, or am I buying it with the intent? Or there are some books I get because I already read them, like through audio or an arc, and I just want to like get them that way. But it depends.
I
There's
think
definitely
that I'm a
books that I
lot
bought-
better now that I'm not buying from Book Outlet.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Because like when you first start a channel, you do a Book Outlet order with books that you've have heard about once.
I've never read any of the books that I bought from Book Outlet.
Right, like some of them, yes, but like the ones like I think from my first, if I like went back and actually looked at my first Book Outlet order, which like thank God I did not do a book haul for it, so that I don't have to react to it.
I might do that.
That was 2.5 years ago, and I would say that probably 90% of those books I haven't read yet.
When
Well,
I
it's
was
like
look-
$3, you just would click like
Right,
why not?
yeah,
Like, it's
Right.
you're like you
$3,
get on the
like,
clearance sale, right? So like I have definitely done better because I'm either buying books full price, so there's like I have to like actually make a conscious decision, like am I going to read, do I really want this book, or can I find it on Scribd? Like,
When you
There's
find cheap
definitely
books, it's so easy.
right.
Like I remember one time I bought a book off Book Outlet, like before I found out that fantasy just wasn't my jam, and I bought it strictly because it looked like a Snapchat screenshot, and it was so cheap. Like it had like the cover, and then there was that like kind of like gray line with the title in it, and I bought it because that's what it looked like, and I was like, I'm never gonna read this. I realize that now, so I gave it to a thrift shop. So
Right.
When I was living in Manhattan, my friend introduced me to the most dangerous store called Book Off. They have a $1 bookshelf. Everything on that shelf is $1. I have a haul on my channel. It was like my September book haul from like a couple years ago, where I bought like 80 books that day because it was my birthday, so my family gave me money to go book shopping. They met Barnes and Noble. I'm like, and I have not. We're not going to talk about how many of those books I have not read.
Yeah, the bookstore, there's an indie bookstore in the mall near my house a couple of years back, and that mall has since closed. Like it's just been slowly dying.
Right.
And when that bookstore went under, they did like a 90% off sale. They did a
yeah.
thing where
That
it's like,
was me with Borders.
you can fill this
I love
bag,
Borders.
and the bag will cost you $15. Whatever you can fit in it, it's yours.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
That's
That's
so
like
dangerous.
most of my bookshelf.
Last year when the Marie Kondo KonMari thing was like really big, I took advantage of that and went to, and we have like local thrift stores that are part of the LDS church, and so that have huge book sections. And I went to I Googled every single one of them in the Salt Lake area and went to and I was finding like mint condition hardback books of really popular books. And I think we're losing your connection again.
Oh my god. Oh no.
No, you're fine. You were just frozen for a second.
So weird.
But yeah, and I so I mean, I was like, oh, well, this is only $2, and Lala's talking about it, and so like everyone's talking about it. I'm gonna get it, and like, I'm pretty sure I haven't read most of those books.
I feel like I'm probably the odd one out because I hate having books on my shelves that I hate. So I use my library a lot, and like I'd say maybe 60% of the books that I buy are books that I've already read, or books that I think I'm going to like because I know the author or I've heard stuff about the premise. I mean, I have a lot of books that I haven't read because my thrift store and friends have given me books. But the majority of my books are books that I've read. And if it's something that I bought because I think I'm going to like it, I will probably get to it within that year, or it's going to take me 3 years.
Right, yeah. It's either I'm going to read it as soon as I get home, or it's 3 years. There's dust on the book.
It took me like 3 or 4 months to get to Of Curses and Kisses by Sandhya Menon, which is one of my most anticipated books of the year. But like, I'm very
curious to see how you like it. I'm very curious to see what you think about that book.
I really enjoyed it because, I mean, it's not as good as her Dimple series, but it still got a 5-star for me because I really enjoyed like how she used the elements and stuff. But it'll be in my...
I DNF'd that book.
I'm sorry.
I've seen so many mixed reviews on that one.
Well, I wasn't enjoying it, so I read it. I read Bethany's review on it, and she said there was a cheating element, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, so like not with the main couple though.
Right.
Like it's a side drama that happens. So
anyways, that was the last question. I just wanted to call everyone out on that.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Thanks for not calling me out.
I know,
right? Really quick before we sign off, John asked a really good question, which is where should we get our books from since Book Outlet is no longer a thing?
I get mine from Barnes & Noble usually.
I do too.
So I've been looking at Black bookstores.
I love Book Depository, especially for the foreign editions, as there is no shipping. I personally have only used thrift books once, and I had a negative experience with it, but I've heard so many good things about it, and also my experience is like 3-4 years ago, so a lot has potentially changed.
I actually... Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry, you can go. Oh, I was going to say, I recommend bookshop.org. It's a website that allows you to order online from your local independent bookstores, which I try to do as much as possible, and I definitely recommend that one. So.
I haven't bought any definitely since everything happened, so
I would definitely say utilize your independent bookstores and utilize your Black-owned businesses.
And then also your local like thrift stores or charity shops.
Yeah, those are fun. The thing is like, you know, we are definitely like in a pandemic, and places like Barnes and Noble and Amazon are not going anywhere. Like they're doing fine, and if we don't give them their $20, they're gonna be fine. But those small places, those mom and pop stores, yes, the book might be a little bit more expensive, but like that's literally keeping the lights on for some people.
I'm going to have to argue with that a little bit because I know Barnes & Noble is having, at least going into the pandemic, they might be doing better now, but going into the pandemic, they were having issues where they were starting to have to close stores. And as someone who wants to be a writer, it is still, the way our book industry is now, it is still very important for Barnes & Noble to be open. So like, I try and balance between Barnes & Noble and trying to get from indies. I try not to get from Amazon right now, as like books specifically. Some things I'm just like, I'm not going to Walmart, I'm not going to Target, so I have to get it from Amazon. But like, still keep them in mind. I also have free shipping with Barnes & Noble, so
yeah, so do I. I'm part of like their membership or whatever that you get 10% off. I definitely still go to Barnes & Noble. I just also try to go to like, you know, the King's English Bookshop is in Salt Lake, and so
they're my place. If I know I need it within a specific date because I have that free shipping, that's where I go versus going to Amazon. But if it's something that like I don't really mind when it gets here, like get a like Chloe or Danny Brown, like I wanted it, but I was like, I can order that from a Black-owned bookstore. When it gets here, it gets here.
Right. Yeah.
Support your local businesses.
Yeah. Also, like I know that John said that they're in Australia. I'm not super familiar with Australia's bookshops or whatnot, but definitely to see which stores have like reasonable international shipping and try to support them if you're you don't have anything by you.
Right. Book Depository, I'm like 90% sure ships to Australia.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
If you're trying to avoid Amazon, though, they are part of Amazon, so just keep that in mind.
Really?
They
Yes.
got bought out.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Mhm.
Well, that's disappointing.
It is free shipping, but also just
way
keep
to
that
end
in
the
mind.
live.
Right.
Sorry.
I know that.
It is nice to get like the UK covers and things like that. Like
Yeah.
I
did that with
switched
Love
to
Love.
Waterstones. Like I buy directly from Waterstones. Their international shipping isn't the best. It's not awful. I personally have not had issues with them. And then you can get like their exclusive editions too, because they're like the UK Barnes and Noble, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. I think I got Dark Dawn from them because I wanted one of the black sprayed
Those editions are so
special signed editions.
pretty. Yeah.
I have 2 copies. That's the only book I think that I own 2 copies of.
We're not going to talk about how many duplicate books I have. I will roast myself.
We won't talk about that.
I will roast myself when I do a bookshelf tour. We don't need to address
I was
that
gonna say,
right
that's
now.
a good book
I have 3
video
copies of
idea.
Cruel Prince.
I have
I have
4
2 of Red
copies.
Queen.
I have 4 of Crescent City, and only 1 is a U.S. edition. No, 2 are U.S. editions. I lied. One's an ARC, and then the Barnes & Noble one. And then I have 3 of Cruel Prince, and of the entire trilogy, and I have not read
same.
Yeah.
and I haven't
Oh,
read the
I have
trilogy
read
yet.
them.
Right, there you go. At least you've read them. Other than like ARC copies that I have finished copies of. Like I have an ARC of Take a Hand, Danny Brown, and then I have a finished copy of it, which they are exactly the same copy, except one says like nothing is
You
special
never have
about
enough
it.
of those books, though.
Might be
They're
few
so
type-
good. You get
few
as many
typos.
copies as you can.
Right.
One will
So-
support Talia Hibbert, and one is promotional for your
Exactly.
Yep.
conscience. No, I will roast myself later with my duplicate copies of books.
Oh.
It's so bad.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, ladies, for joining us on the live show. So perfect segue. So right now, actually, like in 9 minutes, we're all gonna head over to Margaret's channel.
Oh,
and we're
thank
going
you.
We're gonna watch the premiere of your August TBR, right?
It's my August TBR / booktube beta. Like it's like 30 seconds for booktube beta, but like it's my August TBR.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that's,
of
I mean,
me-
it's technically not a live, but we're all gonna be in the chat.
Mhm.
So we'll all be watching that and doing that, and then 5 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m.
Yes.
Mountain time. Do the math. We will be on Merritt's channel this afternoon, and then Merritt is doing live streams every Saturday.
Mhm.
I don't remember the times because I think
They're all at
different.
5. They're all at
All
5
at
p.m.
5.
EST. The only one that might change is the D&D one because there is a member of our group who is a dad who might have to kind of move some things around. But all of them currently are at 5 p.m. EST. Today we're going to do another continuation of this conversation, just kind of get to know everyone. And then I've got some different topics. I'm doing movie lists next week, which is like a Goodreads challenge, but for me it's way more intense than all films. D&D story time. Then we're gonna play a game night with all of the booktube people, and then like the last one's just kind of like a wind down, kind of like, hey, how'd we do, even though it's like 2 days left. And that's kind of how I'm handling those. So if you want to see more of these lovely people and some more of my friends, I'll be doing live streams every Saturday on my channel. So
And then Margaret, when are you
Yes.
going to be doing live streams?
Every Thursday from 7 to 9, it's just going to be like hang out and let's work on projects that we need to work on.
What time zone?
Eastern, right?
Eastern Standard Time, just because I have work and therefore have to do after work.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough. Thursdays at 7. All right. Is anyone else doing live streams? Because I don't want to
I don't think
to leave anyone
Not
out.
in stone. I might in the middle of the month. I haven't actually done a live on my channel yet, so I might want to as like a mid-month check-in with
Awesome.
everyone. But I will put an announcement out on my channel if we do opt to do something like that.
Awesome.
I might do
All right.
like bonus of like, hey, just work with me, but that'll be like extra things, so don't worry about it.
So there you go. Definitely. So I said, I have the links to everybody down in the description of this live. So go hit subscribe on everybody because they are awesome people and we love them. So all right. So thank you guys for joining. And